Welcome to my studio. It's literally a 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot cube. Proof that you don't need a giant studio to create amazing, impactful images, and that you're able to build an entire career in a very tiny space. Maybe it's a living room, maybe it's a garage. But this is where I have built the foundation of my photography career over the last 8 years. If you're a photographer and you're letting excuses get in the way of your success, this video is for you because I have proven you can make a legit photography career in a 10-foot cube. In this room, this tiny studio, I have photographed CFL players, world famous authors, advertising campaigns that are across North America, product photography, headshot photography. I photographed breakdancers in this room. Now that was unconventional, but it worked. And it's what the client needed. Sometimes you don't need a big giant studio. Typically, you don't need a big giant studio. Okay, but for some real honesty, I still get nervous when somebody important, everybody's important, but when somebody of note comes up here, what are they gonna think of me? It's a small studio. Are they gonna think I'm not legit? But then they see the photos and that's all they care about is solving their problem. They need good photos and I give them good photos. I'm here to give you permission that it's okay to feel a little awkward maybe shooting in your garage, but you have to start somewhere. I first started in my living room in an even tinier space, but then I upgraded once I was ready. But maybe you'll find that having a home studio or a tiny studio actually suits your needs better. That was my story. I actually rented a bigger space. Like it was like a warehouse. It was crazy and I kind of didn't know what to do with all that space, and I shared it with 5 other photographers and I would only get 1 day a week to shoot in there. Now I have my own tiny space and I can shoot as much as I want. See, bigger isn't always better. Here's a snowflake from my last shoot. We were photographing Christmas in September. Here we have 3 9-foot seamless papers. A medium gray, a white, and a black. Here on the floor, I don't know if you can see it, I have 2 tape marks. These are the regular marks I like to have my headshot subjects stand at different depths of the background so I can achieve a different look with my lighting. Right here's the red mark, right here's the green mark. Usually my lights are right here, and if they step back, the background will be a little bit lighter. If they step forward, the background's gonna be a little bit darker because of the inverse square law. When the lights are closer to the backdrop, it's gonna make it look lighter. When the lights are further away from the backdrop, it's gonna look darker. These are my C-stands. I love my C-stands, they're my favorite. So even though it's a small photo studio, I have heavy duty light stands to make sure nothing gets knocked over. The last thing I want is for somebody to trip. Here I have my video village. This is where I put my laptop or my monitor and clients can get real-time view of what's going on. Inside these drawers, I have a variety of like camera gear like pocket wizards. This is a makeup kit just in case somebody's face is a little bit shiny. A lens cleaning kit, and gotta keep that lens clean. In here, I have pliers, a variety of grip equipment, tennis ball. Super useful to put on the end of a light stand or a boom to make sure nobody knocks their eye out. That would be very bad. Always use a tennis ball on the edge of light stands that are kind of eye level. They also work good for the bottom of light stands if you don't want to scratch the floor of like maybe someone's house or office that you're in. Take a tennis ball, cut a slit in it. Hello. Down here, I just have extra storage for grids, reflectors, and that kind of thing that kind of be a little cluttery unless I need them. This is a magnet board where I can hang my tether cable by Area 51 tethering. These little dongles, so good for tying up cables. This cart's also on wheels, so I can wheel it right out of here to create more room. And sometimes if it's a bigger shoot, we have the video village out in the lobby and clients can be out there reviewing images. I have a Google review QR code right out in the open. So after I take headshots with somebody, I literally say, if you feel comfortable, leave me a positive Google review. It would help me, but it would also help people find me who are looking for headshots. These are the 2 most common gels that I use, blue and orange. I keep these out because if I'm gonna use a gel, it's most likely one of these, and I keep the whole rainbow of gels underneath where I don't always need them. This pink gel with green tape, it just brings me joy. I think it's a great color combination. Looks like watermelon, reminds me of summer, but it's there to keep me happy. In chalk, I also scribbled down the hotkeys on here for my clients. So if they were on the computer They want to see full screen, they know what to press. F, N, P, 1, what does all that do? Now they know, just by, it's all right there, right for their information. Back here, I keep a couple like light booms, extra stands, they're out of the way, they're standing up, they're not gonna fall over. This is my lobby of my tiny studio. It's a shared office space that I share with a video production team, and we've been here for 8 years. So there's a couple offices coming off of the lobby. So when clients are up here, they might want to shut their doors, but the team here, both myself and the video team, are very used to me taking over the lobby. And I also work very closely with the video production team. And sometimes it's really nice to be able to introduce my clients to the video team, because maybe there's some crossover there, which is kind of cool. I will set up a wardrobe rack in this lobby. If clients have like clothes they want to hang up and we want to do some different wardrobes, we will also on this coffee table lay out different props for the photo shoot that we shoot inside my tiny studio. Behind me on the wall are my photos. This is a photo of the Lucy's Diner sign. This is where I took my now wife on our first date. October 2010, the Woodward sign, the west end of Vancouver down by English Bay. And this is the Mount Pleasant clock. Here is another wall of my photography. This one, not black and white, all vibrant photos of landscapes that I love. This one's from Brooklyn, looking at Manhattan. This one's San Francisco. This one's the seawall around Stanley Park. And this one's Portugal. These are historical photos from the Vancouver archives of this building. I think it was built in 1913, and you can see the different progressions of it. Originally, this building was a standalone building and a creek ran underneath the building. The owner of this drugstore on the bottom floor, now Palette Coffee, used to live upstairs. I think that's really cool. So where the drugstore owner used to live is now my studio and office. And once you know that, you can kind of see how the layout is very much like an apartment. My lobby's the living room, and each room where my studio and my office and the other offices are were bedrooms. Here, you can see up here, if you look closely, the drugstore used to sell Kodak film. And in here, 1932, you can see a lot of different older, cool cars. On the coffee table, I have my own self-published magazine going through some of the natural resource and industrial clients I have, because maybe the clients I have up here for headshots or product photography may also be connected to this world, and they may want to see it and they can take it home or pass on to a communications person if they want. I also have a hairstyling, model, fashion style portfolio that I created when I used to own the hair salons. And it's kind of fun to see the higher end editorial photography that I also photograph. A lot of these images were taken right here in this tiny studio. Photographed here, photographed here, photographed here in my tiny studio. This is my full length mirror so that you can check yourself out and know that you look good for your photos. This wall is a portrait series I did when the film industry went on strike. Photographed right here in this studio, this tiny studio. We have grips, we have actresses, we have screenwriter, we have wardrobe department, more actresses. This is the kitchen, but since I pay for the space, I thought I should use it a little more. And we created a mini podcasting type studio right here. Look, I'll turn on the lights. So when you have a very tiny space, you have to use every square inch. And I do like talking head YouTube videos, interview podcast things right here with these lights. I put a camera right here and the light above the camera, and I talk and I make YouTube videos. The kitchen's right here. I just put a sign on the door that says filming. When you're just starting out, it may be overwhelming to know where to start, or it could be difficult to see all the successful people who have all the big shiny things and feel like you can't do it because you don't have what they have. But here's the secret, you can, and you may just need to learn a couple tricks and tips. Like for instance, using lighting that's very small, like this little tube light, and learn how to bounce the light off the walls to get bigger light sources like I'm doing right now. This light is actually behind me, bouncing out the wall, lighting my face. Or this camera I'm using is a 360 camera, so I can shoot in a very tiny corner and capture all the detail. You just need to learn a couple tricks. I've been in this studio for 8 years and have made a living doing what I love in this very tiny space. In East Vancouver, above a coffee shop. This studio is small, but it packs a punch. My photography packs a punch, and how I light my subjects packs a punch. It doesn't have to do with the space. If you have any questions about how to light a certain style of image here, I would love to teach you that lighting, and I'm going to be creating some lighting tutorials in a small space for everyday people, showing you that you can create really powerful images in a very tiny space. I would also love to see your tiny spaces so I could learn new things and implement them into my tiny studio. So if you're a tiny studio photographer, subscribe to my channel, comment below what you would like to see or what tips you have, and let's help each other grow.